Hi lovelies, and welcome in my holiday kitchen. Today we are brewing two very special hot potions to see which is the best mulled wine recipe, a medieval Hippocras or a traditional German Glühwein. As always, you can find all needed ingredients listed down below. Both surely make excellent warming drinks to enjoy during winter or the holiday season, but today we want to find out where the difference in taste lies. Let's start with a traditional German Glühwein. If you have ever visited a German Christmas market, you will be familiar with the incredible amount of different Glühwein varieties we enjoy. The one I'm showing you today is the traditional red spiced wine, but other delicious mulled wines to try are white Glühwein, berry ones flavored with blackthorn or blueberries, Kinderpunsch, a non-alcoholic version with hibiscus tea, Feuerzangenbowle, a New Year's Eve speciality, and even Glühbier. Now, we first want to start by cutting 2 oranges in halves and pressing the fresh juice. You can of course replace this with bottled orange juice, but fresh ones just give it that extra kick of fruitiness and balance out the overall sweet taste with subtle sour components. Now we will need another orange that we wash very well. It is best if you can find an untreated one, as we will now cut it in slices to add to the wine later on. We will need a pot in which we fill the orange juice and red wine. Personally, I do prefer a dry red, as the Glühwein already gets sweet enough with the added sugar. By the way, if you have an open fire and kettle in the backyard, this is a perfect recipe to make and drink outdoors while enjoying the first snow. Now we will need a couple of warming winter spices that give it its exotic flavor: cinnamon, star anise, and cloves. We want to leave the spices whole, so they can infuse into the wine and are easier to strain out later on. Now we throw everything in our cauldron and enjoy this beautiful sight and smell. I fondly remember this specific concoction, as this is what we would fill in thermos bottles and take outside on snowy winter nights to go sledge riding under the stars on the hill behind the house as teenagers. It definitely is the perfect potion to warm your fingers and insides. But we still need to sweeten it, and personally I love to use brown rock candy for this. But feel free to replace this with regular or brown sugar. Then we are carefully warming our winter potion. But very important safety tip here: do not boil the wine and do not warm it over 87 degrees Celsius. Otherwise you will make all the alcohol disappear and your finished Glühwein will have significantly less warming powers. The longer the ingredients have time to infuse, the better. But honestly, I usually only have enough patience for about 10 minutes before I strain everything out, and the Glühwein still tastes amazing. By the way, the name Glühwein means as much as glow wine, deriving from the fact that back in medieval times it was heated over the glowing ember. But it also gives your cheeks a nice glow if you drink too much of it. It does taste best if you're feeling very cold from a long walk. The taste is rich and sweet, so even if you usually are not big on dry red wine, this spice potion might still make it onto your holiday favorites list. But now let's see how the medieval Hippocras compares to that. With the expensive spices and ingredients used in this was not a drink for the poor, but was only served to kings, the clergy and the aristocracy. However, it was also sold in apothecaries by the spoonful as medicine and occasionally used as an aphrodisiac or love potion. In some regions of Germany and France there was also a white version of this wine, referred to as claret. But today we are going for a traditional red variation, as it is attested in multiple historical documents. So we start by filling a pot with red wine, best a dry one with a low acidity, and then we need a bunch of spices. After all, this was considered a medicinal drink back in the days. The ingredients that overlap with a modern day version are cinnamon, star anise, and cloves. In Le Ménager de Paris, a handwritten book from the 14th century on how to be a proper wife, that also carries medieval recipes, It is mentioned that the main spice and taste should be cinnamon and lots of sweetness. So feel free to really add a generous amount if you want to make it authentic. Now we will get a bit spicier with our herbs and add some fresh ginger. Ginger is commonly known as a fire root and does find much use in natural aphrodisiac making and other interesting kitchen witch arts. Now most recipes call for grains of paradise, which I couldn't find in a limited supermarket section, so I replaced it with cardamom and black pepper, a combination that is actually quite similar in taste. Next we add a twig of marjoram. Marjoram was generally used as a nerve tonic and a heart tonic and to provide better circulation. And last but not least, a dash of nutmeg that was added due to its ability to help with indigestion and to ease pain. Most recipes will also call for orange blossoms, which can be replaced by orange blossom water, and nard, another plant I couldn't find. Once everything is in a pot, we will carefully heat the wine, remembering what we have learned before. Needless to mention that all those spices we just used, of course, also have magical properties, and when making mulled wine you can infuse intention into it, transforming this into a love potion, a ritual wine for offerings, or a booster for prosperity or luck. Now, back in the medieval ages, sugar was still rare to come by and very expensive. So the sweetener of choice was usually honey, which we will be using for this Hippocras as well. In order to keep its healthy proponents, honey should never be heated above 40 degrees. So we add this in at the very end. It is advisable to let the spices infuse into the covered wine overnight. If you just can't wait to try, there is no shame in it either. Just filter out the spices through a sieve and serve the warm wine in a can. By the way, the name of the drink comes from the cloth filter that apothecaries used to strain this wine with, a Hippocras bag. If you are planning a little something different, maybe want to cook a medieval feast for the holidays, this would absolutely be a crowd pleaser to serve for a digestive. In medieval times, it was in fact served after a meal to help with digestion. It is definitely a drink where one beaker is enough though, or contrary to the traditional Glühwein that goes down like water. Let me know which one you would want to try, or do you have another warming winter potion that you love? Comment down below and like this video if you enjoyed it. This was it for today, and I see you tomorrow for day 3 of 21 days to Yule, either here on YouTube or over on Instagram. Don't forget to check out the hashtag and my description box down below to find other creators that will bring you some holiday cheer. I wish you a wonderful winter day. See you soon!